Hello drummers! Welcome to Tim Connolly Drums. Today we are reviewing a product that I just received, and it is the Promark Broomsticks. So this is something I've seen other drummers use, specifically Rob Beatdown Brown. If you're not familiar with Rob, check out his videos. He's a great teacher, fellow Canadian, doesn't live too far from me actually, just a couple of cities over. And I saw him using these. He loves them. So I thought, you know what? I gotta check these out. So I just got them. So I'm just checking them out. So they're obviously, they're called broomsticks for obvious reasons. You know, drumming has evolved like everything, and they've come up with some new ideas. Of course, we had brushes, which was invented, you know, I think 1917 they were invented. They were called fly swatters. So this has morphed out from brushes and sticks and that sort of thing. So the brushes slash fly swatters, as they were originally called, were like fly swatters when they were first designed, and then they evolved into what would be considered the modern day brush. And then of course we have the brushes where you can pull the brushes in and out. Now the other thing that evolved out of that are these. Now these ones here, they're called spliffs, but they're just, every company's got a different name for them. They're just wood little bundles, little dowlings, and they're bundled together, and there's one large center, so they're around a larger dowling in the middle. So they definitely give a more stick feel than a brush feel. I would consider these volume wise a step down from sticks. And then we have these, which is a further step down from sticks because they're quieter, and they're a step up from brushes. These are called whip, made by Vader. Now, like I said, every company's got a different name for these things. You might be familiar with these as a different name from a different company, but Vader calls them whips. Now, I really love these. I like them all, actually. The broomsticks are new, though. This is what I'm used to. Brushes, these, the spliffs, and of course drumsticks, obviously. Now we got the broomsticks added to the collection. They're new. They're much quieter, but I love them. I'm going to tell you right now, I really like them. The only thing is, I don't have one of my regular drumsticks handy to compare lengthwise. But if you look at just pulling up one of these, you can see they're considerably shorter. So I'm not a huge fan of short sticks. I actually play, I'm endorsed by Vic Firth, and I play Vic Firth Extreme 5As. So what an Extreme 5A is, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Vic Firth products, it's a 5A stick that's a little bit longer and a tiny bit heavier. Just a little bit heavier than a 5A. It's obviously heavier because it's a bigger stick. So if a 5A is, you know, that long, the Extreme adds just a little bit. But it adds enough that I create nice whipping motions, especially when I'm using my molar technique, my free stroke, and that sort of thing. So with these broomsticks, I love the sound that they create. Of course, I'm just playing on a pad, obviously, but I got to get used to the shortness of them because they are short. But it's like anything. They're a lot thicker than a normal stick. If we just take a look at this spliff again and compare them, you can clearly see how much thicker one is over the other. That I got to get used to. I'm much more used to that than getting my fingers and hands around that. Now, I'm transferring, technique-wise, exactly what I would do with a stick to the broomstick. Whether I'm playing traditional grip, which is much harder, by the way. I find traditional grip with these really hard. I find it really hard to get my fingers around them. So I prefer, quite honestly, to play match grip exclusively with these. Now, like I said, I've only got them yesterday. So I'm still checking them out. And I just thought I would do a video review of them. Now, the specs for the broomstick, I'll put in the description. You know, the weight, the length, all that stuff, because I don't know off the top of my head. But, you know, in the end, none of that shit matters. All that matters is how does it feel in your hand and how does it feel when you play them. I like them. I mean, they are bigger than what I'm used to, but I do like them. Now, double strokes, little trickier. Paradiddle, no problem. Double is a little trickier because there's not a lot of bounce coming off them. You really got to have your technique down to create anything with the doubles. And I can feel that I'm really having to work this with the double strokes. I can hear, one thing that's cool about them is I can hear a whipping motion. I can hear the wind whipping through them. Now, like I said, I've only had them a day. They don't appear to be falling apart. My one complaint about these, this thing falls off. You're playing with it, falls off. The stick doesn't fall apart, but it starts to spread, and that's the end of the stick. It's, as you can see, this one here's come off a few times, and it starts to separate. You don't really want that. You want them to stay together tight. I do have another pair of these that are much tighter. These are my older pair. Now, in these, same thing. This thing will break off and the wood sticks break. I find playing these on a drum set, as much as I do like them for, you know, for unique sounds and various sounds, they break really easily. That's my one complaint. I'm not sure what the wood is, but it's really soft. I'll have to look into this a little bit further. This is made by Headhunters, which is a Canadian drumstick manufacturer. I know Promark make these. I'm sure Firth makes them, but I mean, just playing on the pad here, I can see them shedding off a little bit. There, I mean, you can see them flying. So these things, they're not the greatest, you know, for longevity. If you want to buy a pair and you only want to use them a few times, great. These, however, seem to be, I don't see any pieces flying off. They seem to be a little bit more resilient to what we do as drummers. We hit things. I'm hitting it pretty hard. Nothing's coming off. So, these seem like they're pretty good. We got one little break here. This one here. But there's a lot to deal with here in terms of, you know, how it's put together. So, I'm going to give these a Tim Connolly Keep Drumming 2 thumbs up because I really like these and they're neat. So I got to thank Rob Brown again, man. Beat Down Brown. I got to thank that guy for hipping me to these because I really like them. So you can get these at, well, in Canada I deal with Long & McQuaid, and I got to give a shout out to Aaron and Ian at Long & McQuaid in Burlington. You need anything, those two are the guys. Ian, Aaron, Long & McQuaid, Burlington. I'm not getting paid to plug that. I'm just giving you guys the straight up facts about Canadian music stores. That is, those two guys are the best around, in my opinion, and I've been around this game a long, long time. So, like I said, 2 thumbs up. I really enjoy these broomsticks, and let's check them out on the drum kit a little bit. All right, see ya. Okay, so my final conclusion is that the broomsticks get a 2 thumbs up from Tim Connolly drums. I really enjoy these things. Got to get used to them still a little bit. Like I said about the length, the weight, they're a little bit heavier. They don't have as much bounce as what I'm used to, but I can still make it work. Because you can make anything work if you've got good technique. That's the bottom line. The only thing is, like I said, it's harder. I mean, maybe some guys can do this still. For me, it was a little bit harder to play traditional grip. I'm struggling with that left hand, struggling a little bit. I can also feel it shifting around my hand, whereas it would not shift around in a stick. But match grip, for you match grip players out there, which the majority of you probably are, fantastic. All right, so please check out Tim Connolly merch. I will leave a link to Spreadshirt in the description, and you can get yourself some Tim Connolly shirts, hats, whatever. It's not just Tim Connolly stuff. There's all kinds of drum merch. I think I'm up to 55 designs. So please go and check out my designs and help me out a little bit. I would sincerely appreciate that. There's everything. Kids, men, women, shirts, hoodies, baby clothes, kids clothes, track pants, hats, you name it. I mean, there's 142 items in some cases, so it's pretty crazy. You can get so much stuff. Anyways, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you have any experience playing these, and where you can pick them up. If you don't live in Canada and you don't want to deal with Long and McQuaid, you can pick them up, I believe, on Amazon. Not cheap though, but you can pick them up. All right, thanks for joining me. Keep drumming. See ya.